A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Survival of No Limits. And this time, I'm going to be tackling on something a little different right here, because I've talked a bit about toxins, I've talked a bit about chemicals, but if there's one thing I have not necessarily taught a lot about, it was the fact that there are tons of other hazardous materials out there that, if handled incorrectly, could in fact result in injury, death, disfigurement, mutation, depending on the substance. So for that reason, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the fact that materials themselves of all sorts, whether they're toxic, benign, radioactive, or acidic, or any way that you look at it, any kind of material out there, no matter how safe it might seem to be, could in fact be dangerous. Or possibly even lethal. Handling hazardous materials of all sorts, whether they could be alcoholic beverages, or perhaps, well, the unthinkable. And there are tons of substances out there that I myself could name. Lots of hazardous materials that are in fact toxic to the human system. 2,4-dichlorophenyl, orthalenol, methanol, ALDH2, otherwise known as acetylhydine hydrogenase, just to name a few. Lots of different materials out there, as parts of different components in science, have definitely had a lot of show to prove to be deadly. And that really is saying a lot, but the truth is that it's unavoidable. Anybody out there who's had experience with handling chemical waste or toxic or radioactive materials can probably just go ahead and explain to me exactly what their experiences are like. Anybody out there who has had to wear hazmat suits or other sorts of protective equipment that would be necessary in order to prevent any sorts of damage, destruction, death from taking place. Anybody out there who has had any sorts of encounter with even the most toxic of substances, including polonium, please tell me in the comment section below what your experience is like. I'm kind of dying to know at this point. So, well, the truth is that truly anything could happen here. But the way I see a lot of things these days, I'm not necessarily wanting to go into handling a lot of sorts of toxic wastes or other sorts of byproducts that are in fact considered deadly or hazardous or radioactive or poisonous or anything else that could in fact be deadly to end my life very early, when I least expect it even. Well, you know what? That's just the truth of it. That's the big picture that most people don't really seem to realize. And with all that put into play, I can begin to at least describe many other things that could in fact take place when you least expect it, when you at least have a big expectation. But that's only because anything could indeed happen. Anybody could have some sort of dangerous experience or even deadly experience. Anybody could in fact have something that might just be considered some of the most deadliest things to ever happen in the history of our planet, in the history of our civilization, and in the history of our own lives. Oh man, like, I tell you, I'm glad I see 1,000 Ways to Die clips on YouTube all the time. Even to this very day, since I first saw that show, I myself was captivated by how it was very intuitive and in-depth in terms of discussing necrology at its finest. So, you know what? I feel like I'm probably going to need to take a break right here, because if you can't already tell, my voice might be cracking or breaking up on me. So, I'm just going to let my voice box settle down for a bit before buckling down and continuing the final stretch here when it comes to production of Survival of No Limits episodes. So if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.